Hello ratbags, it's Jade PLAYSGAMES. Welcome back to another Primitive Plus Let's Play. We're doing our Build Our Town series. We are building a Primitive Plus town. I'm going to be showing you guys what we're building, one building at a time, and then we're going to be actually going into a Let's Build mode with me, where I'm going to build something. Some episodes, we may simply just show you guys how to actually do something that's quite complicated. Primitive Plus is incredibly grindy. It can be really complicated. It just adds extra complexity to everything. So it does take a while. Now this is the second intro we've done, so apologies to all the people that were in the first intro. Bye Sookie, bam bam, sorry guys, you'll be back next time. We had some technical issues, so we're back though, we're going to do it this time. And I've got a witch, a PvP witch chucking rocks at me. We've got the gang here, we've got a smaller gang of rat bags today. We've got Jamal the sniper, he's been holding things down, my admin on the actual server, so if any problems or issues, he's the guy you need to talk to. And then we've got Misty Snow, we've got Old School, and we've got a Canthinus Adonis. Right, so what we were doing is, now I'm not gonna purposely show you stuff guys, so I want it to be a little bit of surprise. So we're going to show bits and bobs of the build how we're going, and then we'll do like a proper tour at the very end, but you are going to get to see some of the builds that we've actually done so far. So it turns out I didn't get rid of all my gremlins. Unfortunately, I didn't record the rest of the gang's voices. We done all this little role play action. The guys were going to talk me through everything they was doing with their little build. I'm so sorry guys, we'll catch up again another time. We'll do another tour of your bakery. But the guys built a massive warehouse for us because we had everything just lying around from just putting it on the floor, and they worked really super hard. So big shout out to Misty and Old School for building just a really good community, nice place for us to put everything and have everything ready. Loads of storage upstairs, loads of stuff going on, so a big shout out to them. Apologies again, I'll get your voices in next time, I swear down. So we've pretty much got everything in here. We've got the advanced workbench, we've got the normal bench, we've got the smithy, and obviously we've got loads of furnaces and stuff like that. We did want to try and get the industrial forge, but there seems to be a problem with it still. The coal won't actually go into it, you can't get it to light, and I think that's the glitch. I thought there was no coal, but the fact is that you can't put coal into the industrial forge. So hopefully that bug fix will be fixed next time we hopefully get it loaded up, because oh my god, some of the resources in Primitive Plus are so grindy, like you need so many to make some of the stuff. So I really do hope they fix that, because that'll help. Now we weren't going to show you the whole build, the whole area yet, but I think it's pretty good just to see a little bit, a tiny little sneak without like too much in depth, and you can see how it's coming along. This is only like the third night I think it is, and we've had different people jumping on as well, loads of people doing all sorts of different things, and we've got lots of different styles. It's going to come together. We may do a little bit more of a paint job on some certain things, and we've still got loads coming, and since I've recorded this video we've got even more buildings up, so it's fantastic. Keep sending me your pictures if you've got a base you want to show me. Make sure you tell me your gamer tag on PS4 if you send it to me on Twitter, so I know to look out for you when I accept friend requests. And if you're already in the chat group that I've set up on PlayStation, I will definitely get around to getting you on the server. It's going to be up for another week guys, so don't worry, there's plenty of time for you to come on and build something really cool, but just bear with me, have a bit of patience, and I promise you can get a chance to come on and show me your skills. What we're looking at now is Misty's and Old School's bakery. They decided to build a little bakery going on, and it's just really nice. We're getting into that roleplay feel. So they've got everything in it that you need for a bakery. Excuse the lag, it is really choppy at the moment, I don't know why, but they've got the baker's oven upstairs, they've got all the bakery shelving and stuff, and it's just really cool. They've obviously got all the resources inside these as well, which really helps, and we're going to start using it as like a proper, you know, barter system. Maybe come up with a currency, do something like that, be really cool. I hope they do add something like that to console soon. There is a few mods like that on PC, so maybe that will be added in the future, or Primitive Plus might do it himself. Said the creator should hopefully be putting something like that in the future. That would be really cool. But yeah, nice little area, just the shop front part here, and then they've got a little restaurant area in this part here, so you can go and have a cup of tea and a little ice bun. And there's the baker, the mute baker. She wasn't speaking, so we've not lost out on Misty's voice, bless her, but we have lost out on Old School's introduction and talking us around his little bakery, so apologies again, I'm so sorry dude. Let's go upstairs and we're going to go and take a look at the crafting area, the construction area, or construction, we're not making brick cakes, we're making cakes, yeah, the cooking area. And you've got all the things you need. You do need a baker's oven to make certain specific things like bread and some of the other treats like cookies and stuff, and then you've actually got the cooking station. And you can see here we've got loads of different resources. You're going to need oil. Oil comes from crushed seeds, and then you've got the beeswax, and beeswax comes from honey hives. It used to come from its own bee apiary, but since the mega bees, the giant bees have been added, obviously they've got rid of the apiaries now, and that's just where you get it from. Then you've got flour, and then you've got natural yeast, which is a mixture of flour and water, and then you've got salt from crystal, and then you've got some juices from the juice press as well. So pretty much lots of things you need there to make and craft cakes and bread and stuff like that. So it's really cool. It's really nice. Good first building to show you guys how we're getting on and what we actually plan for our little town. The whole town's going to be littered with things you'd normally find, like a blacksmith, like a police station, like a restaurants and a bar and a pub. So lots and lots of things to come. Hopefully we're going to get it all finished up in the next sort of 10 days. And here I am just sitting in the restaurant chilling out, waiting for my little cup of tea and me iced bun. I do like an iced finger or a donut, a nice glazed donut. Yeah, lovely, lovely, jubbly. And then just showing you the last few bits of what you need to actually have a bakery. You do need a cauldron to actually add some of that stuff together and make it. And it's just another little feature that just makes the bakery or the food profession, because that's what it was meant to be in Primitive Plus. You're meant to have people that are got specialist skills in food, hunting, and then you're also meant to have people that can do the building, but it's not really come along. Zed hasn't had the chance to implement them systems, and since then we've seen lots of other modders do similar stuff with theirs, and theirs seems to be coming along. Survival Plus on the PC has really specific job roles, so you can be a carpenter, you can be a blacksmith, so hopefully Zed gets a chance to actually implement what his original vision was, that people would have different roles. There are so many engrams and so many things to craft. You really do need help, otherwise you're going to have to cheat if you really want to play it on your own and use the give all engrams, otherwise you just will not be able to unlock everything, or even like 50-60% of everything really. So onto my build now, and I'm going to walk you through exactly what I'm doing with certain building materials. I started out hoping to get something done with brick. Now brick used to be a really nice looking material in Primitive Plus, but they've changed it and it's now like a grey cement style colour. It in fact used to be a cement as well, which was another sort of slight building tier, but again they've got rid of that. It's a real shame. I'm not a big fan of the brick, but I hadn't seen it since the latest update, so I did go ahead and make some. You're going to need obviously a cement mixer. There's a few other things you're going to need, like one of the crafting benches. You're going to need the cement bucket as well, the clay bucket I should say, so that you can make bricks, and that's really important. And then there's lots of structures you're going to need, so these are the structures you're going to need. You can see there it needs a lot of stone and it needs a lot of bricks to actually make it, and a little bit of cement, so they're the main things that you need. And the colour's just not there for me, it really isn't there, so I did think to myself, I'll paint it, I'll give it a good colouring afterwards, so that's what I'll end up doing. But I wanted my base to my little thing I was going to build, my little challenge, my little project, to have a stone or sort of foundation, and then the rest of it would be like the lumber to give it some real strength, make it look like it was really supported well. So like I said, you're going to need the actual cement mixer. The cement mixer is locked at level 35, and to make it you'll need steel ingots and iron ingots. I'm going to go through every single way to make this, guys. So I'm going to show you how to make steel ingots. We're going to go and get our obsidian pick, so that's what you do need to make. So one of the key components obviously is steel ingots and not T-Rexes. You're going to need to go up some mountains and get some metal. You will get more carbon from metal than you will from obsidian, but you do get carbon from obsidian as well. You can see the difference there, 451 from a piece of metal, only 68 from a piece of obsidian. So you've got to balance what you need. If you need obsidian as well, then it's a benefit, you can get some carbon, but if you need limestone, then you need to hit the metal, so you can get some limestone as well. Once you've got it back, put it in a furnace, your carbon, with some iron ingots, and leave it in there, and it will turn into steel ingots. Then these steel ingots are what you're going to need for your cement mixer. So once you've got your actual cement mixer, you're going to need limestone and cement in paste. Now that's what makes it so hard. Getting that much cement in paste can be a real problem. The limestone's fairly easy, like I said, you do get it from metal, so it's not exactly that hard to get hold of, but that cement in paste is really intensive. But that's what you need if you really want to make cement, and you're going to need the cement to make your actual brick structures. The other thing to remember as well, that cement is actually, it goes off after a while, so if you make cement, make sure you're going to use it up fairly quickly. It's not immediately goes off, but it does deteriorate quite soon, so make sure you make it into either bricks or you're going to utilise it the way you want to utilise it. Don't just leave it somewhere where it could rot, and make sure you always got it stacked up nicely. So while the cement's cooking away, we need to actually make our clay. Now for clay you're going to need a hand grinder or a hand mill, and you're going to need claystone and limestone. So you get claystone from stone and you normally get limestone from metal, and you just pop them both into the little hand mill, and that's what's going to give you your buckets of clay. For truly making a large 2-storey, maybe 3-storey house or building, you are going to need thousands of some of these resources, particularly lumberwood, and you are definitely going to need a lot of cement. So the cement is one of the hardest ones because of the cementing paste, or not cementing paste, the cementing paste. So that's why it's so hard. And there you go, there's the bucket of clay there, so you can make quite a few of them. Once you've got your bucket of clay, you then take it over to the furnace and then pop it in the furnace, and you should see here that we've got a bundle of bricks ready to go, and that is it. That's all you need to make your stone bricks. Once you've got your bricks, you should be able to make your actual brick foundations or your brick walls with some of them. You will need normal stone as well sometimes, so you're going to need a big lot of that too. So onto the actual build now. Now I set out this little platform just to stop anyone else from building on it, and this is what I decided to do. And I really wish I hadn't. I know this is really bad, but obviously I might go back and change it. But what you're seeing here is me changing it all to the actual brick, and it's just not what it used to be. It's literally the cement that's foundations. It was much nicer, I'm sure it was. I'm going to have to go back over my old Primitive Plus videos, but I'm pretty sure the brick was much nicer than this, and you can see it just looks like a bit more smoother stone, but I like the cobblestone effect on actual stone foundations and stuff, so really not happy with it at all. I'm going to see if I can paint it, see if that makes it any better, like I said, but I'm still not feeling it, just not feeling it. But I wanted it to be the foundation. I wanted there to be some sort of stone structure at the bottom of my base, my build. What this is going to be like the centre. It's going to be like the mayor's house, the town hall. It's where important decisions get made. It's overlooking a really good point of the town. You can see all the buildings above, especially when you see what I come up with a bit later on. So that's all I simply start with. I just make the whole place foundations with brick. Once I've got the foundations in place, it's time to put the brick walls, and these brick walls are going to just be 1 level high, just like I said, to make it look like it's supporting a nice wooden framed structure. After that, it's a simple case of putting the lumber frames above, and I'm going to show you something what happens when you mix structures on doorways. If you ever have that annoying habit that you can't get through certain doorways, it's because you're mixing different building groups, particularly if you're mixing stone and actual wooden door frames or doors. You'll find that you always have to crouch to get through them. So the best thing to do is to continue it upwards. So you can see here I put the wooden frame on and I can't go through. You're going to have to crouch. But if I get rid of the actual wooden frame and we replace it with a brick frame, you should see that I will be able to actually go through. And that is one of the things that really jars people, especially if you're perfectionists, not being able to get through your doors without crouching. So that's what you need to do. You just need to find some way to put an actual brick structure above that door, or if it's a wooden structure, make sure it's a wooden plank above the actual door. And before that I did start laying out some pillars as well, just to give something a bit more support. Later on I'm going to come out by one, so there's got some either balconies, or it's going to be like, I think it's Jacobean or Georgian, where they actually come out, Victorian, where they actually come out over the lip. It's like an extra level that just appears from the actual base, and I really wanted that look for these. I think that's what the lumber really lends itself to, so you just need some support. Again, I don't like the pillars, but I've got to work with what I've got. And then after that I just simply build it up a bit more. I decided to go upwards with the actual stone brick. I thought I'd have these brick supports going all the way through the building. It is going to be a big tall building. Like I said, it's the mayor's office, it's the mayor's house. It has to be impressive. So if I can't make it as large, like wide as I wanted, I certainly wanted to make it quite tall and stand out from some of the other ones. Now while I was doing this, some of the subs that were on were building. They had started building a little sort of half town in the cliffs. They were making loads of houses up there, but they had really messy ways to get up there. There was either these big stupid ramps, or they were trying to find like ways to put ladders or spiral staircases. So I decided that next to the mayor's office I would build this massive stone stairway that would be accessible from outside, and there'd be like a locked door that the mayor could get up to as well. Although it's not ideal, I still think it was just better to get up that way rather than having lots and lots of ramps. You can see up there how much they've started to build already. So I made this quite tall and it stands out at the back a little bit. Probably again, if I had another chance to do it, I probably wouldn't, but it was functional for the rest of the town. It was functional for what everyone else needed to get up to their houses quicker and easier. So this place here, you can see with stone, is going to be a big massive just stairwell that goes all the way up to the top with like more traditional sort of rotated up and down ramps, rather than one big long ramp going all the way up like you can see in the background there. So my building's going to end up being at least 5 or 6 stories high, maybe even bigger. For that type of building with lumber, you are going to need thousands, and I'm not exaggerating, you really will need thousands of lumber framed planked wood. So absolutely just keep 5 or 6 of these going at all times, always crafting more lumber planks. You really will need that much. I pretty much wiped us out from the lumber planks. I must have used about 4,000 or 5,000 in what I was doing in this just one build. So after that it becomes a little bit boxy as I'm toying around with things. I've just got the basic structure there that I'm going to show you guys, and it is a little bit boxy, but that's okay. I'm going to make some adjustments to it later to give it a little bit more detail so it stands out a bit and it's not just one big giant box. So we just keep going up and up and up, and I like to keep going back and forth to get the resources, flitting between the wooden lumber planks and the actual brick walls, and just building it up and up and up, and then I'll do the floors afterwards. I use all this, I don't bother putting windows in. I'll always put windows in last to see what the shape is, see if I've had anything blocking it with pillars or balconies, and that's when I'll put windows in at the very last part of it. So once I've done that, I came to the point where I wanted to start building outwards, and this is what I was talking about. In olden days in London, hundreds of years ago, lots of houses, particularly in London, to give more space, would actually come out by one because the streets were so narrow and because London was over congested. You couldn't necessarily build that big a house because it had to have the roads and the pathways going underneath. So people started building outwards, and they would have little lips that just gave a little bit extra space. So I've done this all the way around just to give myself a little bit extra space. In hindsight, I think I would have brought it down by maybe 1 or 2. It's probably a little bit too tall, but I guess it makes the mayor's house even more impressive. And yes, at this point I am using the fly commands because you know what, I haven't got time to muck around building scaffolding. Obviously if you're doing this on an official map, good luck. With all the resources you're going to need, you will need a big tribe to get as much resources just to build this. This easily takes around 15 to 1600, maybe more lumber framed planks or lumber planks, so you really are going to need a vast amount. I wouldn't recommend something this big unless you're doing it on single player, or unless you've got resources boosted, or you can do things like this as well, which is fly. So you can see I'm building up again now, so this is going to be another level. Each level is going to be 2 stories high. I don't want to be hitting my ceiling. That's a big tip for anyone that's building anything. Never have something 1 high, always put it 2 high. You don't want that ceiling being right above your head. Always give yourself a bit more space so that your head's not bobbing along touching the ceiling. And just to give myself a bit of a reference point, I started putting one of the floors in so I knew exactly what kind of level it was going to be and how it would look. And then it was time to actually start putting more of another floor on and putting a small balcony on the top floor. That's where the mayor would come out and literally see his town below him. On that same floor, I won't have the whole floor covered. There'll be an open area we can see down below, so there's walkways going either side to get around the actual floor there. So I'm coming up to the point now where I'm going to start actually loading up the rest of the last bits of like the walls towards the ceiling. So again, it's going to be 2 high, always 2 high, and you can see I've got the big stone staircase at the back there, which you'll be able to access every floor of the mayor's house with as well. So it's just easy and convenient. It serves 2 purposes. It's the stairs from my place so I can have more in every floor, and it's the stairs to get back up on top of the cliffs. Tiny little tip, wooden ceilings are not in the lumber section, they are actually in the wooden section. Don't know why, but that is just another small thing peculiar to Primitive Plus. So once I'd built finally up, it was time to come and connect the pillars up, and I made a classic noob mistake. I started building from upwards going down, downwards going up, and you should always build from the top going down, not up going up. If that makes sense. Yeah, if that makes sense, does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense. I hope you know what I'm talking about. But basically, wherever you're going to place pillars to make it look like it's supporting something, you want to do it from the floor that you're on going all the way down so you can actually get into the ground. If you do it the other way, you'll find you have problems connecting it, and although this is a bit crap, that little bit of wood sticks out there, you can easily cover that with some sort of furniture. And you can see how it doesn't actually connect up. It tries to latches on top of the ceiling tile above it, and that makes it all wonky. It's literally out by like 5 centimeters, 10 centimeters. So that's why you've got to do it from the top going down. So once that's done, the pillars are there. That is only temporary though. I'm going to put little boxes around the pillars to give it even more support and make it stand out a little bit more, so it doesn't just look like pillars just blocking something. They're going to be a little bit bigger, a little bit chunkier once we actually finish the rest of the build. Now it's time for the roofs. Now with the roofs, I did piss about a little bit here trying to get the right kind of shape and deciding what I wanted to do. Did I want to have glass coming out on the angle? Would I have a glass skylight? What was I actually going to do with it? So I went for the lumber roofs here just as a simple one. I'm going to do the same on the other side as well, but don't forget to put your corner pieces in first. If you put that in first, you sometimes can't always put the corner piece in, so do what I'm doing here, make sure they're in both sides before you lay the roof on it, and there you go. It's a nice little comfy fit. As well, another thing to look at is that you're using the right corner piece. Is it left or is it right? If you use the wrong one, the ceiling or the roofs won't match up. They'll slightly be off, and you can tell that by the roof. The roof will either come right over the edge or it won't come over far enough. So be careful, because it can upset things if you really want your build to be like almost immaculate. When Primitive Plus first came out, there was massive problems with the roofing. The roofing just wasn't connecting properly at all, and it just looked really ugly, but it's a lot better now. So once that was done, it was time to think about putting a skylight in or finishing off the actual roof. Now I mucked around and toyed about a little bit, and I decided to change it. I did go and I was going to put glass frames going all the way across, but then I thought, you know what, no, let's change it up. Let's see if we can mix it up again. You can see here I'm just making it a bog standard. It's going to be a bog standard triangle roof, but I thought that just seemed a little bit too big. It made the whole place just look like one big gigantic box house. So maybe if I could make the roof stand out a little bit more, then it won't look as big and chunky. So instead I put another corner piece in on the edge here, and I started going all the way across with more roofing, and that way it just adds a little bit. And then I'm going to do the same on the other side, and we're actually going to have the skylight just being flat in the middle. So look, here you go, another roof piece, and that's how I was going to have it. So it's going to be the same on the other side, and we're going to have literally the glass going through the middle. Now a couple of things to do with the glass and lumber frames. Glass is really expensive again. You need silica pearls and crystal, and again you need to put it in a furnace. It's incredibly slow to cook up as well. So if you absolutely have these things going all at the same time, make sure you've got your cement cooking, make sure you've got your clay forming and your bricks coming along, and make sure you've got your glass going. Try and do it all in one go rather than going 1, 2 and 3. It really does take a long time to get the glass panes, and you don't get much for the resources that you're actually using up. So again, make sure you've got 2, 3, maybe 4, 5 furnaces going so you can get all this made in one go. Overall, this whole entire build over the course of 2 days took me around 6 hours. Now I was doing lots of other things in between that, inviting people, getting parties set up, answering questions, as well as actually going around and gathering materials for other people and spawning in certain items that were bugged or broken or you couldn't get hold of very easily. So overall, I reckon if I didn't have all them issues or problems, I probably would have done this in about 2 hours. Plus like another 45 minutes for actually waiting for stuff to craft, because I didn't do what I've just told you guys. I only came to realise I needed the glass afterwards, and it took so long to actually make it. So go ahead and make it all in one go. Get all the resources possible and just bulk craft it. It definitely will help once the actual advanced refining forges got raring to go. We definitely need that in the game to make more out of the resources you're feeding it. But that is pretty much it for the roof and the main structure. Now it's time to make it look a little bit prettier on the outside. So in the next episode we'll be taking a look at more of the community builds, what you guys have been building on my server, and we'll be finishing off our little base, or the mayor's house. I say it's the mayor, it's me really. Doing the outsides detailing, as well as putting the roofs and the rooms inside, adding a little bit more furniture and just giving it more of a, you know, a proper house or a building or a business feel. So I hope you like the style I've been doing it. It's going to be like that, guys. I want to show stuff off you've been making on my server. I want to go through certain aspects of the builds or items to show you the best ways to craft it or what resources you need, and then hopefully show you. And eventually the plan will be to show off the whole build, the whole town in about 7 to 10 days time when everyone's come on. So again, if you want to come on and build something, send me some screenshots. If you've already done a world tour with me already, you have guaranteed to get a chance to come on first. So just hit me up with a message and remind me if you've done one with me before. I'm JadePlaySGames. I hope you like this, and I'll see you for more Primitive Plus community ratbag build very soon. Bye bye.